Welcome to the WyrmBlades, also known as the Lumbricina Ferrum, almost by no one. They are a multicultural organization with the goal to eradicate all cultures but their own. You see, the GSC, or Giancarlo Esposito's chickens,
but you can call me sus,
are humans who are made when a mommy gene stealer f***ing devours dad and shits him out. They specialize in the use of mining equipment and guerrilla warfare, and no, I don't mean like Donkey Kong. They live only to serve the four-armed and maybe sometimes three-armed emperor if you had a run-in with Trazen, who is a gene stealer patriarch role-playing as the god emperor himself. We started doing it ironically, but everyone's playing along.
All hail Plankton!
What's going on here?
All hail Plankton!
Seize him, slaves!
All hail Plankton!
In service, your goal is to plan insurrection as you are the most oppressed group in society, Redditors. Assassinating officials, planting bombs, and minor acts of vandalism are your MO, and you're not going to let those salty landlubbers get in the way of your plans. Your kill team is made up of the regular Johns of a Gene Stealer cult, henceforth I will be dubbing them the John Gene Stealer, who will be accompanied by several heroes within Gene Stealer folklore like Bartholomew the Stabby Stabber, Jeremy with a gun, Jeremy with a knife, they're twins, and Dr. Yeehaw themselves. Together you shall arise from the twisted nethers that is Detroit and parley with the filthy landlubbers, topple governments who dare tax cigarettes above a reasonable level, and await as your divine saviors come to save you. This is the Gene Stealer cult. The proverbial gorillas that this cult specialize in are a wacky bunch that love to be sneaky until they aren't. Operatives on their first activation can change their order. In this case, John wishes to spec points into stealth. If an operative respecs their skills in a given activation, then they can reroll attack dice of a given result, which is a rule you will only find in this ability and literally nowhere else in Kill Team. So fuck it, you prepare your ambush like a spider monkey with the might of about 10 other spider monkeys. A key to remember is that this kill team has 10 to 14 operatives, all with the ability to do this on any activation. And just a quick side note, the Kellamorph can hit on 2-ups and you can reroll 1s, so by my math,
that's a lot of damage!
many key trollers of your squad are considered swag and baller as hell, so much so that they don't even need equipment and have a 4-up invul save. I couldn't think of a funny analogy for the last one. They also have an easier time taking cover, being able to turn a missed save into a save and a separate save into a critical save. Just try it makes sense, I promise. This is the right proper way of turning your cannon fodder into cannons of glass and your heroes into some of the most terrifying creatures alive. We'll get to the Kellamorph later. One of the scariest feelings is playing into the dark and knowing something is rapidly approaching your location and having absolutely nothing you can do about it, which is, you know, akin to something like a fucking horror game. This doesn't just go for your Astra Militarum fucks either. Space Marines are no stranger to being overrun. You may have high saves and high runes, but to quote my favorite peace group, we only need to get lucky once and you need to get lucky every time. And have fun fighting back when you can't even see them. Alright, did I mention that? Your ploys, both strategical and tactical, help you succeed with feeling like you've been planning this game for the last 20 years. Though if you're like me, you probably have been, since you struggle to find anyone to play with. And anyone who does play with you says that you're meta building, and then you say, I'm not meta building, I just want to use the cool looking guns and models, and then they scoff at you and clearly don't believe you. God, I need friends.
Amogus.
Meticulous Plan is funny and hilarious for all the wrong reasons. Every time I imagine my good for absolute shit all neophyte doing the objective 5 miles behind the ketamine horse, thinking,
Alright.
see, because the power in numbers spreads through objective monkeys who hope they actually never see action. One with the shadows makes light terrain obscuring. Ooh, I'm so scared. Riding Ingress is when your mom tells you have Navis breaches at home and you just point at a wall and say,
Hello, everyone.
Besides Besides, when you have no option of doors or windows, explosives are nature's gateway. Crossfire is a system taken from 40k and applied in a way that I can actually fucking read without having an aneurysm. It pretty much makes it so that every time you shoot an enemy more than once, you auto-hit with one of your dice, which usually results in about 3 free damage each attack, which on enemies with base sizes of 25mm, it will probably fuck them up, but if I'm to give this fairness, if you target a big unit with like 5 guys, that is at the very least 3 free hits per guy, let alone heavy gunners or cult agents. Slink into Darkness and Coiled Serpent are an iconic duo. Name a more iconic duo. Fuck you, you can't. You got one that turns your spider monkey into a howler monkey, but then suddenly, no monkey. Being able to jump in and out of conceal and engage like this is busted, and it may cost 2 CP to do it just for one operative, but you will be as scared as I am whenever I get shot at in Tarkov. Unquestioning Loyalty has one of your neophytes, or Locusts, don't fucking forget that one, interrupt the combat if they're close enough to charge and become the new target, or in the case of the Locust, fucking decimates the attacker. More on that later. This all really encouraged me to put more effort into painting my cult agents and leaders, since I knew they weren't going to be taken off the board instantly, especially up against melee focused kill teams, like, you know, everything that isn't Pathfinders. Hiding is one of my favorite ploys, and therefore is mandatory for use. Having 2 of your operatives be completely invisible to your opponent makes them question a lot, because no matter what they do, they will be one riding ingress away from absolute annihilation via testicular torsion.
Testicular torsion!
This ploy is great at getting an early setup, but I actually can't imagine something that suits the WyrmBlade kill team even more than something like this, in terms of flavor and gameplay. Your options allow you to force your opponent into a position and allow you to force your operatives into the weak points within their defenses. Nowhere Unreachable is soul crushing and bowel rushing, as on paper the opponent just puts a token as far back as possible and then thinks you can't do anything about it. They're fucking stupid and moronic, as they forgot your wide arsenal of utility allows you to do whatever the fuck you want as long as you get the first shots off. Previous tools and abilities bring forward options and solutions to your objective. It's a game within a game, and one that your opponent has to play too. No matter the kill team they play, even other WyrmBlades, you are always more prepared than them, and if they don't attempt a defense, you can easily get off 2 or even 3 victory points with little to no effort. Perfect Ambush lets you prevail at planning and executing a perfect attack on the opponent. It wants you to think ahead and plan for the ultimate round, where all the pieces fall into place and you can open fire to deal crippling damage to the enemy operatives, so much so that they can't have any models to fight back. As a purely casual player, I cannot deny the hilarity that comes with luring the opponent into the sweet promise of just killing one of my operatives, and then quickly turning the tables as I get the opportunity. Surely sacrifice is something you can afford to do with this many operatives on the table, and when used properly, each one is worth their weight in... well, these guys are expensive anyway. Not to mention the second condition, which can bring forth the rising crescendo of heroism as the ketamine horse, no one else, single-handedly outdamages all of your opponents and wins you the game. I just cannot take Perfect Ambush as a competitive option, but I cannot leave it out of a match made for heroes to win and write history. Mark for Ass Nation is the equivalent of bringing your dad to school to beat up your bully.
Noah!
Neophytes can mark opponents, and once they are killed, you score VP. You can only get 2 points from this, but in a game called Kill Team, it is very vital to kill the enemy team. Any enemy that can be marked by a disability is bound for bloodshed as long as they're within range to be marked in the first place. Though the marked target must have a GA of 1, so once again a whole team of veteran troopers will rock your shit as they always do. My personal favorite strategy is having a neophyte just run into a room, announce someone in the room will die, probably die himself, and just have the WyrmBlade swarm the room with just the one mission of killing this stupid Astra Militarum guy. Your neophytes come in 5 flavors: Leader, Brutadept, Icon Bearer, Gunner, and Heavy Gunner. You can have up to 2 of each type of Gunner, and then the rest of your slots will probably be filled by Brutadepts and Agents. The Gunners and Heavy Gunners cannot have the same type of weapon because variety is an enforced aspect of life, and Brutadepts can have any mix and match of auto rifles and shotguns. Your leader is the equivalent of getting a mythic skin, but just for the tutorial character, as he's no different than just being more pimped out than the rest of your brood adepts. Even with the variety of options, you can still just give him the basic shotgun or auto rifle. Your other options are simply better than these two. My favorite being the Weber and Paramal combo for being kind of a funny yet sadistic combo now that I think about it, since you kind of just end up debilitating anyone that you fight. Also, his ability is really helpful for your setup as it's basically just a free ploy. Your rank and file troops sport some of the most average stats in Kill Team, but my dear friend, in Soviet Russia, quantity is always better than quality. These troops really should not be looked at as an individual, but as their collective, as they will always be moving in groups, forcing your opponents to do the same. As in most 2v1 scenarios, you actually have good odds thanks to Crossfire. Your icon bearer is identical, except they have the usual aura effect that comes with all icon bearers. This can be activated for an AP and upgrades your cult ambush ability, which on the right turn can really win you around, but you could also end up never using it, which will upset it. Your gunner has the choice of a grenade launcher, flamer, and Weber, and I think for once all of these options are equally funny. Considering we have to go with two different options, I always go with the flamer and Weber combo as it's just gone full sadist mode. But let's not forget the launcher, as there's a reason why the fun option has crack grenades. Your heavy gunners are very similar to your regular gunners, except they have larger bases and all their weapons, well, they're heavy. I actually don't always take the heavy gunners, as while they have big numbers, that heavy keyword will hold you down sometimes, and this team does need to keep up its tempo. I would usually prefer guys who can run and shoot over guys who can only stand and shoot. Now we're on to the real meat of the team, as we have the cult agents. You don't necessarily have to take any of these guys, as they can be replaced with 2 neophytes each, but this is where you're going to get most of the mileage out of this team. Ketamine Horse is my favourite child, and one of the first models I ever bought for Warhammer. You have a 3-armed Yeehaw, and they're ready to do unprecedented amounts of damage. If an opponent ends their activation within short range distance, then you will assuredly reduce them to mulch and red mist, since you can hit them with this twice. The Ketamine Horse derives its pleasure from being a threat from far away and a death trap up close, and your opponent has to devise a plan to get close while keeping 22 bones in their head together and fused. Jeremy with a gun is a sniper, with a rather pitiful amount of damage if I'm being honest. Not that it's necessarily bad, but it will be quickly outmatched by any other kill team sniper. Along with that, you have the activated ability, which can help, but with how this kill team in general works, you'd be hard pressed to get much use out of it. A valid choice in the right circumstance, a stupid one every other time. Jeremy with a knife likes to hide around corners and then run out, stab, then run back to cover. This sounds exactly one for one like what guerrilla warfare is about, but somehow he's still outmatched by the other option to take the Locust, who looks to finish the job more than Jeremy does. Likewise with the other Jeremy, this operative can be taken given the situation, but in most scenarios I will default to my beloveds. Finally, Bartholomew, and I started the script like 3 months ago, and I can't even remember why I called him that. And what's even funnier is when I wrote down that it was 3 months ago, it's actually 4 months ago now. So, you know, that's how long these take to make. While Jeremy is more of an amateur appreciator of the fine art of stabbing, Bartholomew is a devout worshipper of the stabby. For starters, straight away in combat, you roll your dice and he's just all like, shoot, get your dice out of here, your dice suck, and they stink. Considering most operatives roll like 3 dice, this essentially bumps you down to 2, unless he really fucks up his 2-up dice roll. After that, he can just go to town on you, and you probably can't do shit about it. Your best hope is running away, but don't move too close to him, as he can just see someone who's running and be like, hey, stop that, and then just starts combat with them, and after that, if he wins, or heck, even if he loses, he could just go again. Even on a different enemy, since he gets a free charge. He is a menace, and we just let him walk around and do this. So unlike Germany, who strikes and then hopes he can run away and live another day, Bartholomew's out here killing a motherfucker and then another. Alrighty, that's it for the WyrmBlades. First White Dwarf kill team, so you don't buy actual kill team boxes, you buy like the Neophyte box, and then you can get like the Kellamorph box and the Locust box. It's like buying regular 40k models, not kill team box sets. There is also actually a lot of room for kibashing with this kill team. I've seen a lot of people who do Skaven Gene Stealers, or Skaven WyrmBlades I suppose. You can find that really easily on Reddit. I'll probably flash it up on screen as well. Also the last video got a lot of views. Thanks everyone. I think I said this in the last video as well, but like I'm actually like genuinely blown away. I refuse to tell any of my friends that I actually have a YouTube channel. Okay, I tell them, but I will never give them a link or let them know how to find any of my videos, because it is Well, you know, if this is your first video of mine, I do have 2 others for the Kriegsman or Veteran Guardsman and the Highway Tech section. As these videos get newer, I do actually try and make the quality a lot better. A common complaint I saw in the last video was about the beeps. I'm so sorry. Sound mixing is really hard. I'm like tone deaf. I did music in school, but I just could not. I'm very sorry about that. I'm trying to get like better at it. If there is any actual like genuine criticisms, leave them in the comments. Be as blunt as you want or like constructive as you want. I will take any piece of criticism and I will try and work better, because that's the whole point of this. I love editing, and I would love to be better at it. Like if my videos aren't enough of a testament to how much I want to edit, then I don't know what would be. But yeah, I'm probably going to do a small little channel update as well, because the next video I'm trying something different. Not too different. I'm not going to start gaming YouTube or doing vlogs. This is going to be an interesting project I've been trying to do for like the past... Okay, this video has been put off because of the new video, I'll say that much. I'm going to do a little update, and maybe some other things as well. I want to post smaller videos in between this one and the next one, so expect like some more different, maybe less edited videos, because I'm going to be honest, they take so much. And the next one is not going to be why you should play this kill team, because my hyperfixations last for only so long. But Warhammer will surely stay a big focus on the channel. Not the main focus, I have other things in my life, but it will still be a big part of it. Anyway, sorry, I am rambling right now. I have so much I want to say. It's been like 4 months, and I'm really excited to get back into my editing seat again. I'm back. So thank you. Subscribe if you liked the content. Don't feel forced to. It really does help, but I don't want anyone to feel like they have to. And yeah, I'll leave it at that before I keep going. So see ya.